Okay, so the thing about India for me is that I profoundly believe that India is a wellspring, spiritual wellspring. I think that, see, the Indian people and the Australian Aboriginal people are connected genetically. And the Australian Aboriginal people have been there for 30,000 years. So that means Indian people have been there for 30,000 years, if you know what I mean. The connection between them is probably that long. So I do think that there is a profound spiritual nature in India, I think, and that includes the areas around. It includes Kashmir. It includes Pakistan, which was India, a part of India at one time. Of course it does. When you look at this and so on, this area, how was it formed? It was formed by a massive landmass over aeons of time, crashing in to the Asian subcontinent here and driving up a gigantic shoulder of mountains, the Himalayas. And what it created, this impact with this massive force of mountain creation, generated so much energy in the soil, in the land, and so on, that not only did it produce the highest point on the earth, but it also produced a battery of energy that is India. And I think no one is immune to that when you go there. Anybody who goes there will feel that they've entered a spiritual country, despite the madness and craziness you'll see everywhere you go, that still somehow works with the magic of India, but you will feel it. And I think there really is something there. The people of Mumbai, particularly, it's all of India in one place. It's a crucible. You've got Bengalis living next to Punjabis, living next to Rajasthanis, living next to people from South India, people from every part of the country, all living together, finding a way to make a way in India. Every now and then it breaks down. This happens, but they do this. In what part of India? Mumbai. And it becomes this tremendous intercultural appreciation of what it is to be Indian, but at the same time to express in a way that's the Mumbai way. It's a way of Maharashtra, it's a way of the people that they created this city and this state, and it expresses itself very, very powerfully. So I think that it's possible to find this anywhere in the world that you go, and every traveler will, no matter where they go. For me, there was a particular resonance. And just as a final note, when I first put a foot on the soil of India, I felt within myself an electric shock. When I came off the plane, I put a foot on the ground, and that electric shock ran through me as if I felt I'd been there before. So I do think I have a connection to India in another way, probably in a former life. I hope that answers that question for you, and it's a really nice question. Thank you. So I'll just do this one. I can hear that timer running because I'm supposed to record tonight and get out something. We've got a deadline. I love deadlines. Deadlines are great. I'm kind of a bit up and down until the deadline comes, and then I really get into it, and I usually do it. So I love deadlines, but here we go. Namaskar, namaskar. It says, glad to see you making music. Thank you. I'll definitely check it out. I hope you do. It's all there, man. Check it out. Go on Insta and you'll see a link tree. Go on YouTube, you'll see the videos. We've got a bunch of new videos coming out. We've been creating lots of them for heaps of new albums. We've got Deep Cowboy, Deep Surrender. We've got Deep Cover. We've got Deep North. We've got Deep Dancer. There is so much coming out. Can't wait to share this with you guys. All right. Then he says, and you're in the music, I'm glad, and you want to get into it more. He says I would be very interested to hear more on your beliefs and experience concerning this, the spiritual. But, okay, it seems that you are on a spiritual path. Did this happen recently? In your book Shantaram, you and Khader Khan go into depth on topics like God and different existential philosophical topics. Were these conversations real, or rather metaphors for inner revelation? When did you first encounter God experientially rather than conceptually? Much love. Terrific question. I mean, you guys are great. Thank you so much. It's a fantastic question. All right. Firstly, I don't know anything about God. So God is like really huge. I don't know anything about God, but the spiritual, I'm definitely on a spiritual path. I don't know that I'm a particularly spiritual person. I'm probably not, but I'm trying. But I'm definitely on a spiritual path and doing my best on a path. Yes, it is relatively recent. Now it's 7 years ago that I started, after 3 years of instruction with my teacher, which is still going on. That's now 10 years, of course. After 3 years of pretty intense instruction from my teacher, I decided to go on the spiritual path myself, to blow a conch, to connect, to say, I acknowledge you. And as arrogant as that sounds, but it's required if we have free will for us to acknowledge, I acknowledge you. I surrender the negative within myself that's not needed to love you, and I give you my devotion. And I did this at 6 years, now it's 7 years ago, I did this. I kept notes every day of what I was doing when I was blowing the conch, because I sort of have that kind of scientific mind. And I wanted to write down what was happening for other people to maybe read at some point. And I put that together in a little book called The Spiritual Path, coming out in September. So yes, it was recent, and it is sincere. And the subject of God, it's a very big subject. I personally don't know anything about God and don't really talk about God, but the spiritual is very real for me. So real that it is an intrinsic part of everything that I think and do, including this, answering questions to you. Timer, here I go. I think this is the last one. I got them all in, I can't believe this. Was your experience with Bollywood true? Was your relationship with the existing industry and filmmakers fictional? Well, as it turns out, I did have a little tiny part in a movie called Banch Barbie with Kibi Kakkar and a fantastic guy named Chunky Pandey. I love you, Chunky. Big up, Chunky Pandey. So here we are. And all of this time later, you can go back and look and see, was I involved? Yes, I actually took a part in a movie back then. And also in a TV series. I'm going to let you guys be the detectives and find that, because I did have a part in a TV series at that time. So I'm going to way back, a small part. It's only one appearance and one line, but I did have a part. So yes, I was involved. Of course, the novel is a fictional account of these things, but there, as everyone who knows Mumbai and the industry knows, there was a time when the mafia in Bombay and the industry were very interconnected, and so on. That's much less so now, thankfully. But there was a time, and so yes, it was something that was real. I was involved, and if you check out Banch Barbie, you would just see this tiny little appearance of what I looked like when I was on the run way back then. Why did I appear in a movie when I was on the run with a price on my head? Takes you back to that question before, doesn't it? Why do you take so many crazy risks? Because you can. I hope that answers some of your questions. GDR out from beautiful Jamaica. One love.